see, at this level, you have the holy and the unholy. You have the innocent and you have the guilty. You have the sinners and you have, what else would you call them?
Saints.
There's not too many of them apart in this level either, like, you know. So at this level, there's nothing but drama. And you can get into religion, you get all the drama you want in the world. Just join a religion, and then what do? You attack the other religions to keep your religion the right one. Or to keep your identity strong. You must attack outside yourself. So all of these are happening at this level. At this level, then, if you really want to live a spiritual life, the one thing you must master is judgment. How do you be without judgment? How? What is the one thing? There's a good few of you in this room have had experiences of bliss, and you can't keep it. Why?
Attachments.
Yeah. Attachments keep bringing you out every time. So the whole point at this level now here is to sever attachments. Because you can't, judgment will pull you in all the time through your attachments. If you're not willing to give up your attachments, then you're going to be pulled into the drama, you're going to be pulled into the world, and you're not going to be able to sustain the peace, the joy, and the bliss in your mind. So how do you know what an attachment is?
Your reaction.
Which will be?
Well, it could be positive or negative, couldn't it?
Well, you're either not angry or depressed. You'll either be very excited and deliriously happy, or angry or depressed. You know, you'll be happy that you're getting what you want, but all attachments are designed to take your peace away. So why is that? What's the ego's motive? You will only have an experience of God and peace. Only a peaceful mind will have an experience of a spiritual awakening, of an experience of a higher awakening, and have an experience of revelation. Because a non-peaceful mind is designed to keep God out. Okay, so this is what the true purpose of attachments are for the ego. They're all designed to take your peace away. Because they never stay the same. People never stay the same. They always change. Attachments, everything external to you changes. It'll never stay the same. It'll just be the way that you want it for a little time, and then you're going to be frustrated with someone or something in your life for the rest of your life, because you'll never get it back the same way again. We often hear, you change. You used to be such and such a person, and such a person. Now you're such and such a person.
There's a lot of fear comes with that. Because you find safety and security in the way a thing or a person or a situation is, and then as soon as little changes come along, you're saying, hang on, I thought this was the way it is. You know, you find it hard to kind of cope with the change, but even though it's natural and even though things are still the same, but they might change in other ways, but
there's comfort in it.
yeah,
There's comfort in
you
it.
do find comfort, but you have to be willing to let things change as well.
Yeah. Okay, right. So you can see how we brought these three very important tools that make us how the whole thing operates, right? We understand projection now, don't we? All right, we have these thoughts, we're attached to them, we're looking through them, and then we're creating these stories in our lives. Isn't that so?
Sorry, I don't want to jump the gun again, but whereas I'm with you so far, I don't feel that my question has been answered. Like, in practical terms, how do I relinquish my attachments?
Figures.
Forgive you.
Forgiveness. Is
Yes,
that-
you see, let's say you're attached to something, and you react to it, and you're angry
Yeah.
about it. Well, then that's what you forgive, the anger of the reaction to that attachment. Attachments now become a positive in your life, because you're going to use them to push your buttons So you can react, so you can let go what's unconscious inside. Remember, the belief of separation is inside us. It's in the unconscious. All right, and what our task to do is to allow people to bring it into awareness. We can't let it go until it comes into awareness.
Sorry?
We can't let it go until it comes into awareness.
Okay, so I can't let something go in the abstract. I have to wait until something occurs that is
Right.
going to push my buttons.
Right. So here's the thing for you, right? What pattern in your life is being repeated at the moment? Who in your life can you just not get on? Is there somebody? No matter what you say or do with this person, just there's no talking to them. So we all have somebody.
Yes.
Yeah? So how do we deal with that?
Recognize it's a part of you. Recognize it's a part of you.
Yeah, that's the first part, yeah. What else?
To the truth.
You see this person, are you allowing them now for you to react? What are you doing with the reactions that you have to this person, the judgments that you have on this person?
See what part of you
You
is.
see, you have to now allow this person to keep pissing you off. So that you react, and then you start letting this go. And then just look what happens in the relationship.
So what you're saying is that it's good if you have a reaction rather than suppressing it.
It's really good, because your whole goal here is to waken up. What's keeping you from waking up? What's hidden inside?
I'd have to accept that that's what I've been doing for an awful long time.
Yeah. That you haven't,
Suppression.
yeah, suppression, yeah. So you can see the ego is very, very cunning and very, very devious at the end of the day, right? We think that we're on the right track, and when you get to that stage that you think you're on the right track, you can be sure you're not. Because the ego is the thinker. The ego is the intellect. You can't outthink the ego. Many people in the intellectual field are trying to do that, and the ego just loves it. Just loves it.
Because it's just reinforced by
What does Jesus say in the Course? The problem is not what you think. The problem is
that you think.
that you think. All right, so this is why we have
So
to
you're
make-
trying to beat trying to outthink the ego is trying to beat him, which is
Of
okay.
course, and that's what the intellect at the end of the day will try to do. And the more they do that, they're energizing the whole ego thought system.
So
Make it more
thinking is
powerful.
the ego's job, not mine.
Yeah, so what I'm saying here is, right, to even get into the more advanced of what we're doing is you make a move, the ego's going to make a move. Just because you have made your move, if you think the ego doesn't make a move, then you're very delusional. So you have to look at how has the ego made its move, or has the ego make a move, or where could it make a move? If you can think of this as the ego thought system as a chessboard, and you're at one end of it, and your goal is to get to the other end, and the ego is trying to block you and stop you from getting to that other end. Okay, the ego's not going to open out a clear path for you and say, here you go.
So to have it clear, Michael, if you have a tense negative reaction towards somebody, apparently, you, although I suppose you'll be doing that at the start on an intellectual level anyway, because it's hard to believe that that's your own, but so you have a strong negative emotional reaction, you take that in and you say, this is coming from my belief in separation, I give it to the light, and say, yeah, and it won't necessarily abate you were saying there with the iceberg,
Yeah.
but that's your part done.
Yeah.
And quit analysing or God,
Yeah,
this isn't
that's it,
working,
that's
or
it.
quit it,
Yeah.
just do that.
Yeah, you see, ultimately here, where the big error a lot of people make is, right, here they are, they're projecting through the thought of guilt, then they're into the drama here. And what everybody's trying to do is they're trying to analyze the drama in this person's life now, analyze the ego just loves it. You don't go down that road, because now it's all about the other person.
Who's that?
Huh?
It was addictive.
Yes, it's very addictive. All right. The whole point here is all you have to do is be honest with your own reactions and sever the whole story here. How can you sever the story if you're in making it real in the drama?
So to pull yourself immediately and say, this is my own, this is coming from my own belief.
No, it's coming from me deciding to attach myself to a thought of guilt and then to look at everybody through that thought like a prism.
So
You know-
it's a choice of thought, this intense negative emotion, reaction I'm having is coming from my choice for guilt.
It's my choice to attach to that thought. See, let's say that's the thought of guilt. All right, let's say that's a dark mirror. All right, and that's the thought of guilt. So when I look through this, what do I see? Guilt everywhere. I can't avoid seeing guilt
The solution
everywhere.
is just to drop it and choose a loving thought.
Exactly. But you see, the whole story, we don't see this thought. We
Yeah.
don't see that.
That's it,
It's
yeah.
there, right in front of our face. We don't see it. And now all we see is, oh, I seen you doing that, and I seen you saying that, and I heard you doing that. You know, remember what the Course says about our physical eyes? There's nothing as blinding as perception is form. Don't believe everything you see.
So
But in
say
nor-
you're, sorry,
Okay.
say you're having that intense negative reaction for weeks on end. Do you need to kind of do this every hour or, okay, every time you're aware to drop the thought? Okay.
If it's there, it could be there for 10 years. As long as this thought stays
You just have
here.
to keep doing that.
Exactly. Yeah, because what you can do is, the thoughts here, we're not aware of it, and now we're trying to fix this person, fix that person, report this person, do this with this
Okay, so
person,
just
and everything. And it's,
Constantly let yourself know it's
Yeah.
because I'm looking through this thought that
Yeah.
I'm feeling this way.
so what happens then, you get fed up with this job, you pack it in, you go get another job. And what happens is the thought's still there.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden now the same
Yeah.
environment comes up here. The only error that you have made is that you're looking through a thought that you have attached yourself to. What keeps the thought in place is all the drama and the stories that are behind it.
But it just in a normal sense as we live, like we sit down in the evening, turn on the news. ISIS did something today, straight away. ISIS bang. The next thought comes up, 23 people are getting charged up in Tallaght for the water protest. And the first thing comes to your mind is, and Dennis O'Brien 4 years after Moriarty report, nobody went after Dennis. You know, the next thing comes up, West Ham are beaten today, and you think, Jesus, that's great because they fired a big Sam last year. You know, do you understand me, Mike? It's a non-stop
Yes.
part of all of these things, bang, bang, bang.
Why?
So, and how, you know, I mean,
Yeah, but you know why? It's because you're looking through that thought.
it's hard.
And the thought is guilt,
Yeah.
and all you see is like in chapter 3 or 4, he says, we send out the hungry dogs of fear, all right, in search of guilt, of blood and everything. And that's what we do with this thought sitting in front of our faces, and it doesn't matter, you know, everything, the ego knows everything we think, because you're in the ego thought system, and it knows every little judgment that you've made. So this thought of guilt sitting in front of you, okay? Now the ego knows exactly what to trigger this thought off and to give it energy. And every time that you react to what you see, you're feeding that thought and you're feeding the ego thought system, which is making you more unconscious, more asleep. So the only error that's happening there, Joe, is you're looking through a thought that you're allowing to stay in your awareness. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know, and it doesn't matter. You can turn on the TV.
But then the counteractive, you just keep on recognizing, bring that thought to light, that judgment to light, that judgment non-stop,
Yeah.
effectively. And as you say, remind yourself who you're walking with 40 times a day or 100 times a day.
Yeah.
But that takes skill.
Yeah. Well, what I do with people, have you ever heard tell them the chair?
Sorry?
The chair.
Where you pretend there's an imaginary person there
Yeah.
in your thought.
Talk to the
Yeah.
chair.
Right. What I do with people, right, the whole point with some people in relationships and with deep trauma insights is that we're really good at denial. We're really good at suppression. We're really good at all of these things. So what I said to a number of people, and it's worked extremely well, I said, get a chair and get 2 chairs. And you sit in one chair and put the person that you want to talk to in the other chair.
Right, hang on to it.
All right. Then what you want to do then, right? Make sure there's nobody else in the house. And now you tell that person exactly what you fucking think of them, and don't hold back. And when you get it all out, all right, then you bring it back in now and you let it go. You see, the whole point is, you see, we can become so good at denial and suppression, right, that we become just pure passive aggressive, especially with people doing the course. We become so good at suppressing this and acting like they're in the true right mind. They're only in the ego right mind. Okay? So what this is all about is, this all started with one girl that came to me and she had a problem. And it was like sucking blood out of a stone to get her. But I did it. I was able to, I says, the person that you're talking about, I'm going to take their persona. I want you to talk to them as if it was me, right? And it took about 5 minutes for this person to get started. Like, and at the beginning she said she had no problem. And then slowly, by the end of it, my hair was on fire. Swear to God, like, it was one of the unbelievable, and it shocked her how much projection that was in there. And that's what was really keeping her asleep, which was keeping her angry, which was keeping her depressed. So you can see here now, you know, what is really important here if you're doing forgiveness. We have to get this belief out of here. We see it in other people, or we see it in the world. It's only then that we can do anything about this. We can't take it from here to let it go. It doesn't work that way. It can't work that way. Our projections go this way out, this way. That's what projection is. It's a stream. Okay? And the only thing that we can forgive in ourselves is how we react to everything that pisses us off. That's what forgiveness is, nothing else.
What if you're depressed and you can't see it out there? Is that a form of denial?
The depression is the denial, is why you can't see it. Do you know, it's the that is the defense out there. You see, what's happening then with that person is they're just basically suppressing all the time. You know, they're just keeping it all, I'm not looking at this, I'm not looking at this, you know. So they're really shut off from everything. And that's the ego's answer to that, especially if someone is starting to practice forgiveness.
Michael, forgiving your reactions, and ATF where you recognise the aspect of the person, and we did the list of the persona.
Yeah.
Is that your reaction?
Of course it is.
So, for example, greed,
Yeah.
and you see somebody and you have this reaction, God, they're so greedy,
Yeah.
and you say, okay, that's my own greed.
Yeah.
That's the reaction.
Well, that's the part, it's not that you're greedy, but there's a part of you that you're kind of saying, I don't want to be greedy.
You're afraid of greed?
No, it's just that you know that it's not socially correct to be greedy.
Okay.
You know, remember the persona is the ego that's self-creating itself all the time.
Yes.
Okay, the persona, we all have our persona here. There's nobody here without a persona. And the persona is the ego that's in creation every second of your existence here. We all want this good image of ourselves. We all want this perfect image of ourselves, but that's the ego.
But when we say, for example, greed or whatever, and you look at whatever part you disapproves of greed, that's the same thing, isn't it, as saying...
Well, what part of you disapproves of it? Where do you put it?
persona.
Yeah, persona disapproves of it. Yeah, because you look around and you see, like Dennis O'Brien, and you see all these greedy people, and you can see how society looks down on greedy people. So if you want to be liked by society, then you're going to say, right, I'm not going to be greedy. Problem is, we're all greedy. Because we're in the ego thought system that's a greedy thought system. Why is it greedy?
It's coming from lack. So
Yes, exactly. The ego can't get enough because everything that it does get is nothing in itself. So somebody with 10 million will want 100 million, someone with 100 million will want 1 billion, somebody with 1 billion will want 10. Enough, there's no substance in it, there's no fulfillment in it. So enough is not enough.
But it's the same, it's different
Yeah.
words for the same thing, forgiving your reaction and the
Yeah.
exercise of ATF. And see this part, you know, where we did the attributes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but there's
it's
no
the same thing.
but there's no difference than someone wanting 100 million than you breathing.
Correct. The traits you know, and we were saying you need to be specific on the trait.
Yeah.
So when you say forgive your reaction, you still need that
Of course, specificity.
specificity.
I'm creating a new website, and underneath it has SSC. Specificity, simplicity, and clarity.
And charity.
Clarity.
Clarity.
Okay, so the whole point of this is when you're fully awake in this thing, you'll be specific about everything. You'll see everything, you'll know what everything's for. So the part of waking up is really about learning how everything works. That's all it is. If you're doing a Course in Miracles, then if you can master how cause and effect works, how judgment works, how projection works, how forgiveness works, how the attachment works, how everything works. That's how could you not be peaceful after that?
Thus mechanical.
Yeah, that's the mechanical aspect of this. That's why he calls it a device. You know, he's removing the story and the drama out of it. You look at what's going on here today, right? Let's take form out of here today. Let's take the words that I'm saying out of here. Completely out of here. Let's not use any words at all. What's happening here? What am I doing here with you?
Clarifying.
No words. To clarify, you have to use words. So leave words out of it. What else? Go into content rather than form. What I'm doing here, I'm giving you energy. And that energy could be called truth, could be called love, could be called knowledge, could be called whatever it is. I'm giving you this knowledge, and you're giving this back to me, and I'm giving it back out again. Okay, that's all that's happening here. Okay, what we're doing here, then we put words onto this, we put form onto this, because truth is energy, but then truth has to manifest itself into form. But in truth, that's all that's happening here. And when you meet someone on the street, you're giving that person energy. So how you see that person, it will determine the energy that you're giving to that person.
But technically, if you go back to the fear of flying, you recognize that the fear is doing something for you. It's showing you something in you,
Yes,
in a way.
it's showing
So
you.
there's a benefit in some
Big
respects
time.
in the fear.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Right, the funny thing is, right, I was coming up here today and I did Marie's stunt. All right, I had all my notes and everything, and I left the whole lot behind me. All right, so I'll just have to wing it today.
Well, you're doing well.
Right,
Nothing up to stall on. She did that anyway.
let's get into simple basics here then, right?